in the style of silhouettes in a tornado pattern on a white background. Now, these look pretty cool. I actually think the colourful version looks nicer. This arrow circle button here will run the same prompt again to give me more options, but I'm going to click V4, which will give me more variations like the fourth version. Once you're happy, then upscale the one you like by pressing the corresponding U button. This just makes the design larger so that you can use it on your product. Then you can just use a background remover to get rid of the white background. I personally use photoroom.com. Finally, you can use professional designers on websites like Upwork and Fiverr. Now, I've done this before with wall art and I've been pretty happy with the results. You just have to make sure that you're very specific with the brief. Here's a look at the brief I gave last time, so you can just copy and tailor it to fit your needs. These are all good methods, so it just depends on your skill set, available time and budget. So now we've got our designs. What's the best print-on-demand website for beginners? This is the site you'll use to order your products, print them, and ship them to your customers. This is an extremely important section, as picking the wrong print provider will result in some of your shipments getting lost, poor customer service, and all-round massive headaches. Most YouTubers recommend the absolute cheapest sites, and to be honest, I've got a real issue with this. The reason a lot of them can charge crazy low prices is because they cut corners in other areas. Wait a minute, I thought you were telling us how we could start with $0. Now you're telling us we got to pay for websites. Well, the cool thing about most print-on-demand sites is you only have to pay once you've made a sale. That way, you actually don't need any money up front. I live my life by the saying, buy nice or buy twice. This essentially means if you go with the cheapest option, then you'll actually end up spending more money in the long run, as you'll have to take the hit for the lost items, and that'll start digging into your profits. I tested out the Gelato website for myself recently, and I've got to say, I was super impressed. The experience was seamless, with both the product quality and the printing quality being excellent. Just look at how great this poster came out. I only ordered it as a sample, but I've actually ended up keeping it because I like it so much. All right, so let's jump onto Gelato and start uploading our design so you can see how easy the process is. So I'm just going to go to the menu on the left-hand side and select Product Catalog, and then select Men's Clothing. I'm then going to pick T-shirts. I think we should be fine with the heavyweight unisex crew neck T-shirts. As I can see, that's their best seller. And to be honest, Gelato has a very high standard of quality anyway. It's nearly $2 cheaper than the other more premium options. And as I said earlier, it's super important to protect your profit margins. All right, so here's what I'm thinking. I'm going to go with direct to garment for this design. Now, don't get me wrong, embroidery is pretty cool and definitely has that premium vibe, but let's be real, it's pricier. So I'd save that for that design that screams, embroider me. And hey, if you're shelling out the extra bucks for embroidery, make sure it's super obvious when you're promoting the product. After all, if you're paying more, it should seriously ramp up the perceived value of your product. Okay, so I'm going to start with the white option and size large, but I'll also repeat the same process with 7 colors in all sizes. Now it's as simple as dragging and dropping the design we made earlier into this center box. There's also an option down here where you can add different designs to the back, neck and sleeves. But now for this one, I'm just going to keep it simple and do the front. If you're interested in using them and you want to get 50% off your first order, then feel free to sign up with the link gelato.com/Mark. They also give me a kickback if you use that link, which I pass on to my video editors. So if you use it, then thanks for supporting the channel. Once you've got all your designs uploaded in their different colors and sizes, it's time to start selling them. But where do I sell my products? I've got a real problem with how most YouTube channels approach this question with one answer. They'll either say Etsy or Shopify, but it really isn't that simple. I'm not interested in rushing through this video to get a little bit of extra attention. I know if you got to this part in the video, then you want to know the facts before you jump into something. So let's go through both of these options so you can decide which is the best route for you, or route for all you American viewers. Firstly, let's talk Etsy. If we look at the figures from February 2023, we can see that Etsy had 460.6 million visitors. That's by far the most out of every print-on-demand marketplace, and that even includes Shopify. In 2022, 26% of sales were made-to-order merch. In other words, a lot of print-on-demand items, and 45% of sales involved an international transaction. This means that Etsy gives you access to a global audience of shoppers. A lot of people commented on one of my previous videos mentioning that I'd overlooked the marketing costs, but I didn't. That's the advantage of marketplaces like Etsy. The customers are already there, searching for these kinds of things. All you need to do is rank high enough in the search results. But it isn't all sunshine and rainbows. Lots of people hype up print on demand on Etsy, but more people fail than succeed. That's just the harsh truth. Etsy don't reveal the percentage of shops that actually succeed, but they have revealed that there are 5.4 million active sellers, and the average monthly sales per user was $2,169 in 2022. But of course, these figures are heavily skewed by the more successful and established shops. In my opinion, the reason for people failing on Etsy is that lots of folks just go with their gut, selling whatever they fancy, instead of really studying the market like I've shown you in this video. But if you stick to the system I've taught you, you'll have a serious leg up on the competition. Now for Shopify. Customer data is one of the most valuable things in business. A general rule of thumb is that a customer's email is worth about $1 a month to a business, as they can use it for advertising to a previous buyer. As Shopify isn't a shared marketplace and instead is your own website, they allow you to collect this valuable information, whereas Etsy doesn't have an option to do this legally. You see, someone has to agree to be on your email list. So yes, you can just download the emails from your Etsy customers, but you can't really get away with adding them to your email list without facing some issues. Not only is it against Etsy's policies, it's also illegal in many countries. Selling on Shopify also allows you to set yourself apart from the competition. The bad thing about Etsy is that your products are always surrounded by your competitors, so you're somewhat forced to compete on price. It's kind of like this YouTube channel. You've probably got tons of other print-on-demand videos recommended in the sidebar. I know I don't have to worry about you clicking off my video though, because it's the best one. Imagine this, you're scrolling through YouTube, but all you're seeing are my videos. It's either stick with me or don't learn anything at all. It's kind of like having a Shopify store